Well, hello, my name is Willie Lawson, and this is Fightbackmedia TV. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you greatly. If you like what we do, please subscribe to the Fightback Media channel on YouTube. And if you're watching this on fightbackmedia.com, there's a little box down there. Give us your name and your email address so we can keep up with you. There's a lot going on. This is a year of expansion, not a year of contraction. So we've got a news story for you that you might not have heard before. A U.S. Federal judge has overturned California's 32-year ban on assault weapons. Now, you and I know there's no such thing as an assault weapon, right? We know that AR doesn't stand for assault rifle. You know that, and I know that. But here's what's happened, and here's why it's good. I'm describing it as a failed experiment and prompting scathing criticism from the state's governor and attorney general. Surprise, surprise. California has prohibited the sale of assault weapons since 1989. The ban was challenged in a 2019 lawsuit against California Attorney General by plaintiffs including James Miller, state resident, and the San Diego County Gun Owners, a political action committee. Here's what the judge says. The judge says, this case is about what should be a muscular constitutional right and whether a state can force a gun policy that impinges on the right with a 30-year-old failed experiment. Judge Roger Benitez of the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of California wrote in the court order filed late on Friday. Government is not free to impose its own new policy choices on American citizens where constitutional rights are concerned, the order added. It declared that these statutes unconstitutionally infringe on the Second Amendment rights of California citizens. The court filing concluded the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution guarantees citizens the right to bear arms. The federal judge said that he had granted a 30-day stay of ruling at the request of the California Attorney General, Bob Bonta, a move that would allow Bonta to appeal it. Because they were going to appeal on it. I mean, there was going to be an appeal, obviously. Today's decision is fundamentally flawed, and we will be appealing it, Bonta said in a statement. Fundamentally flawed. 7 states, including California and the District of Columbia, have enacted laws banning assault weapons. Now, you and I know, if I can move away from this for just a second, you and I know there is no such thing as an assault weapon. That's a media term for guns that look scary, right? You and I know that the AR-15, which is one of the ones they're talking about, is not an assault rifle. It's not something they use in the U.S. military. You know that, and I know that. And AR means armor light rifle, not assault rifle. We know that the size projectile used in that weapon is not much more than a .22 rifle that a lot of y'all, I didn't, but a lot of y'all carried as teenagers and little kids to shoot birds and squirrels. I tried to say birds and squirrels at the same time. I got burls or squirms with when you were kids. Now, there are all sorts of accoutrements you can put on that weapon to make it look scary. But, when you break it down, it's just a .22 rifle for the most part, right? And one of the most popular hunting rifles in the country. So when the left says things like, who needs an AR-15 to go hunting with? Well, everybody has one. Everybody who goes to hunt, whatever, has an AR. And no, it is not a machine gun. It doesn't shoot 30 rounds a second. That's one of my favorite clips ever. This is a ghost gun. It shoots 30 rounds a second. Nothing shoots 30 rounds a second, by the way. Anyway, gun control is a politically divisive subject in the United States, which has an experience a significant number of deadly mass shootings. And this is an article from Reuters. So, of course, they're going to say, oh, my God, lots of shootings in America. And what we know is that that's not true either. That's not true, and that's overblown by the left. But this is a good thing. This is a good thing. And if we can keep it in place, what can happen is that the same thing can happen around the country. Again, folks, this is not a season of contraction. I know you look at what's happening at the national picture and you feel discouraged and you just want to say, well, I'm just going to go over here for a while, right? Don't. So many times I heard for so long that it was Reagan this and Reagan that, but Reagan was not going to be in office for very long, and I always wondered, where's the Reagan in you? If Reagan was so great, what did he deposit in you that you can move forward? Y'all remember the Reagan Revolution. So where are his revolutionaries? Where are they? And I see the very same thing in a bunch of Trump supporters. All the things that you supported President Trump with, did he deposit something in you that you can move forward with? Where is it? You love the way that he stood up to media and he stood up to the bad guy. Why aren't you standing up to the bad guy? Why aren't you being strategic in your approach? We got more. We got more right after these messages. We got more. Welcome back. California continues to get it wrong. We did a video that yesterday, I guess, that people are moving out of California for all sorts of reasons. The handling of the economy, the handling of education, and a whole lot of other reasons. And COVID is becoming one of those reasons, because on Friday, Governor Gavin Newsom alerted the state residents that he was not going to lift the state of emergency on June 15th, which was the proposed date. Newsom made the announcement during a press conference while announcing the winners of the vaccine lottery. Vax for the win, where those selected win a $50,000 cash prize, which is, of course, taxable. In the state of California, the highest income tax rate. The casual reveal came during what Eric Ting of San Francisco Gate called a testy press conference in his headline, also indicating that his piece, that it was often tense. The exchange between Newsom and an AP reporter, Adam Beam, who referenced the June 15th date. Here's that exchange. But look, I'm mindful of the disease. It has not been extinguished. It hasn't gone away. And if you're in a dense workplace with hundreds of other employees, many of them haven't been vaccinated, we won't be there. We're mindful of variants. We never said that we were going to consider we've never said that we weren't going to consider some modifications post June 15th. Let me be specific. We've been very forthright in terms of modifications for large outdoor settings, large indoor settings with lots of folks from different backgrounds, walks of life, people coming in internationally, etc., and mindful of people, of face coverings, non-pharmaceutical interventions, as well as pharmaceutical interventions and around vaccines and testing requirements. So when multiple reporters wanted to ask about the June 15th date, Newsom sarcastically jumped in to mention, I'm glad there's all these questions about the lottery. This Jay to talk about they were actually enticing people to get a shot with $50,000 of taxpayer money. California is lost already about $8.8 billion in potential income. Has moved out of the state. Over 70,000 households moved out. 165,000 plus taxpayers have moved out of California. Why? Because California continues to do it wrong. They do it wrong because they have bad leadership. Another exchange came between Newsom and Cal Matters, Cal Matters, which is the publication, Laurel Rosenhall, who was asking about capacity restrictions despite an announcement from May that they would be. Newsom sought to distract by seeking to remind folks that these guidelines are evolving and continue to evolve on the basis of this disease, on the basis of external reality and pressures, and that they have a lot of work to do on vaccinations as well, because they want to talk about the vaccination lottery. He also told Rosenthal, when asked, that he would not rescind this emergency declaration and give up his emergency powers. Because that's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what it's all about. Because we're still in the state of emergency, he said, through laughter when asked why not. The disease has not been extinguished. It's not vanished, or is not taking summer's months off. Now, here's the deal. You know and I know it's never going away, which is why the left is pushing back so hard on some of these things, on states like Texas and Georgia and Florida. Because in Florida, yeah, we're done. We're done. Someone is always going to get diagnosed with COVID-19. Always. Someone is always going to get diagnosed with the bird flu. Someone's always going to get diagnosed with H1N1. Someone's always going to get diagnosed with some SARS. Someone's always going to get diagnosed with Lyme disease. Someone's always going to get diagnosed with something that's in the ecosystem. I have friends my age and a little younger who contracted polio. Holy crap. Polio. And this isn't from some weird anti-vaxxer state, point of view. I have friends who have contracted polio, who are my age. And I have my star. I thought I had my star. Did I have my star? I don't know what arm it's on. You remember? I don't remember. I was little. Maybe it finally went away at 60. It just disappeared. But I had all the vaccinations that I was supposed to have, and still ended up with chicken pox and measles. Didn't get mumps or rubella or polio. Praise the Lord, or any of that other stuff. And you're asking. See, now you're asking if I'm going to get the COVID vaccinations. And I'm going to tell you, like I've told everybody else, you talk to your doctor and then you make a decision about your health. I've talked to my doctor and I've made a decision about my health. You do the same thing. And stay out of people's business. Anyway, one thing that I'm certain of is there's uncertainty in the future. The governor also said the emergency remains in effect after June 15th. If not asked about it, when else was Newsom planning on telling his constituents when he saw fit to extend the use of his emergency powers? Governor Newsom himself boasted when answering a previous question from Beam that California has the lowest case rates in America and the highest vaccination rates. A new Gallup poll released yesterday also finally showed a majority of adults at 56% thinks it's acceptable for healthy people to live normal lives. Now, I know you and I were already there. We've been there all along. John Cox, who's running as a Republican in hopes of unseating Governor Newsom in a recall election, likely to take place in October or November, tweeted extensively about the announcement, including this statement. This is what John Cox says. Like all power-hungry politicians, Gavin Newsom refuses to give up power after he seizes it. It's clear Newsom's actions aren't about following the science or doing what's best for California or doing what's best for... It's about doing what's best for him. So now he claims California is open, but the mask mandates and his emergency powers remain. Gavin Newsom is Lucy, and California is Charlie Brown. Thank you ever so much. We appreciate you being here. This is Fightbackmedia TV. We are going to continue to try to produce as much content for you that is up to date, that is current as we possibly can. If you have any suggestions, first look down in the box there on the website where you can put your name and your email address. Send us a little message, and we'll get right back to you. Promise. 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 All right, so until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sake, y'all take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you. Peace.